You know, I gotta give it to Joseph Kosinski for making this movie, because not only did he prove to make a great airplane movie with Top Gun Maverick, but he also proved to make a really great racing movie. So, what is he gonna do next is my big question. Hey, what is up, you guys? Me, Sam Nova 198 again. Today, welcome to a sort of late review. This is for a film that came out about a month ago, but I think is worth watching, and I wanted to talk about it. And that is for a little film called F1, the movie, or just F1, for called many different things over the last couple of weeks since it's been out. But yeah, this is directed by Joseph Kosinski and stars Brad Pitt, Kerry Condon, Damson Idris, and Javier Bardem. And this was actually one of the movies I was actually the most interested coming out this year. I love Top Gun Maverick. I think that's one of the best summer blockbusters in years. And it's kind of insane to think we finally got a director who knows how to do a great blockbuster that's not a superhero movie. And I was very excited for this movie, and I actually got to see it at an early access screening on June 25th. And then I saw it again a couple weeks ago. And I feel like now that I've let it kind of sit with me for a little while, and the more I think about it, just the more entertained I got the feeling for the movie. And yeah, so what did I think about this movie? Well, let's talk about the story. Okay, so now the story for F1 follows the story of Sonny Hayes. He's played by Brad Pitt, who is a sort of nomadic race car driver. He kind of goes from place to place, helping teams win different races. Like at the beginning of the movie, he's at the 24-hour Daytona race, and he helps them win, but then shortly after, his friend Ruben, played by Javier Bardem, gives him the chance to race in Formula 1. And now, many years ago, Sonny Hayes was a Formula 1 driver, but after an accident, he had to step away for a long time and kind of lost the chance and sort of missed his shot at becoming F1 champion. So now he's been given the chance to race in Formula 1, and for Ruben's team, who is very much struggling in the races. They're not really doing that great. They're all struggling, and overall they are trying to work with him, with Sonny Hayes, but they also have to work with Joshua Pierce, who is the racer for Ruben's team. And throughout the film, you see Joshua and Sonny sort of kind of bat heads. There's a lot of moments where you can tell they sort of grow as friends and sort of learn from each other. And I think it's honestly got a pretty good idea there of how that works. And honestly, I think the story here in F1 is actually pretty fun. It is a bit predictable, but I gotta say, sometimes when you have a predictable story, that you can always make something new with it. And in my opinion, F1 does that really well. F1 has a great energy to it, and a lot of the races in the movie look phenomenal. Like, they are beautifully shot, and with Hans Zimmer's score, it really helps it. And also, I gotta say, a lot of the characters are actually pretty likable. I loved Ruben. It's Javier Bardem. He's one of my favorite actors. And I thought Brad Pitt and even Damson Idris was great. But I'll get into that in the acting in a sec. So anyways, the story for F1, the movie, was actually really good. Now let's talk about the acting. Okay, now in terms of acting, I think everybody across the board did a great job. I thought Brad Pitt was really charismatic, had a lot of great energy to him, and I think he did a really good job with it. But I gotta say, the one actor that really shocked me is Damson Idris as Joshua Pierce. Now, I've heard he's really good in the show Snowfall. I have not watched Snowfall yet, but I thought he was fantastic in the movie. He had a great likability. He came across as a bit of an asshole, but he actually pulled it off really well. And when he learns his lesson in the movie, you could tell he learns his lesson at times. And I thought it was a great job. And I think he's honestly really talented. And I honestly want to see him in more stuff. I'm actually probably going to watch Snowfall now after seeing how good he was in this. And overall, I just think all across the board, the acting was genuinely very good. And I think it's honestly one of the most entertaining movies of the year. So, anyways, let's move on to another big aspect, which is the racing. Okay, so now in terms of the racing in the movie, the racing scenes have the same energy and excitement as the flying scenes in Top Gun Maverick. If you thought Joseph Kosinski did a great job with the flying scenes in Top Gun Maverick, Rick, just wait until you see how good he films the racing scenes in F1. The racing scenes in this movie are top-notch. They look fantastic. The sound design is incredible. I think this and Warfare have some of the best sound design in 2025 5. It's insane. And when cars hit and you feel like the cars moving and you feel like just the energy of them move, it is fantastic. And it's not just the racing scenes that are great. Even the scenes where the characters are just talking and kind of getting to know each other is very, very good. I'm going to be quite honestly here, this is one of the most entertaining movies I have seen all year. And this is definitely going to be in my top 10 favorite films of 2025. So now let's move on to the final verdict here. Okay, so final verdict for F1. Would I recommend this film? Yeah, I do. I've recommended it. If you have not seen it yet, I definitely recommend it. I've heard they're actually going to be bringing it back into IMAX soon because of how well it's doing financially. And honestly, if you could see it in the biggest format you can, go check it out because this is one of the most entertaining movies I've watched all summer and probably all year. This is definitely going to be in my top 10 favorite films of the year. And I would highly recommend it to anybody who's a fan of racing movies. And if you're a fan of Top Gun, Maverick, or just like sort of the macho dad movies in general, because this does kind of give that vibe of being a macho dad movie at times. So anyways, that's my review for F1. I know it's a bit shorter, but I didn't really have a whole lot to say about F1 because honestly, I didn't really find anything wrong with it. I really enjoyed F1. I thought it was one of the most entertaining and enjoyable films to come out all year. So anyways, that's my review for F1. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.